Hey guys, hope you guys are doing well. Ryan Hamer here. Today I want to talk to you guys about what to do and what to say should you decide to contact a collection agency. And I know it's pretty scary, pretty freaky, and a lot of people don't call because a lot of you guys, you're probably ignoring the letters and ignoring the calls to begin with. So you're like, what do I do? What do I do? If I'm going to call them, what do I say? Fair question. The first thing I'm going to tell you right now is stay calm. Always, 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 always stay calm. No matter what they say, no matter how nasty they are, no matter how they try to dig at you or insult you or pick at you or whatever, they're going to do it. And not all collection agents are nice. And as a matter of fact, I had one guy, he said to me, I said, hey, what's with the attitude here? What's with the attitude? I'm just trying to sort out a situation here. I'm just trying to talk to you here. He said, this is collections. It's not customer service. This is a collection agency, not customer service. And I was like, wow, okay. So this is how you're going to go with me. This is how you're going to deal with me, right? So I want to advise you guys to just stay calm and stick to the plan. So you have to have a plan. When you're calling this collection agency, you got to have a plan. You're not just calling them to see who you get on the other line, right? You want to find out, okay, how much info do they have? How much are they looking for? Why are they calling you? Do they have the right person? And I know some of you are going to be like, well, then if I call them, then they're going to ask me for my information and they're going to want me to verify who I am and all that stuff. That's fair, that's fine. So if you have an idea of when this alleged debt occurred, or when it could have been placed on your bureau, you need to think about where were you living at the time. Chances are your current address does not match the address that they potentially have on file. So if they're asking you for an address, then what you do is you probably give them the last couple of addresses, the older addresses in your mental Rolodex, which may or may not correspond allegedly with the alleged debt that they are saying that you owe. So in that regards, you're going to be giving them old information or information that is accurate to them, but not accurate to you. And there's a reason for that. If you watch some of my other videos where we talk about, you want to make sure that they can clarify the debt. They can confirm the debt. And if they're confirming a debt to an incorrect address, then that's another issue there for you to dispute. So the other thing is that I usually say, you got to have a plan, right? And the reason why you want to have a plan is because you don't want to go in there pig-headed, blinded either, right? You want to make sure that you go in there and you know exactly what you're going to say and what you're going to do, right? Knowing what to say is critical. It's important. It's crucial to making sure you get out of it unscathed. Now, chances are you're not going to get out of the debt right there and then. It's a preliminary fact-finding mission when you're calling, right? You want to call and you want to find out what's what, right? So if you call and you speak to somebody, and chances are the first person you speak to is not going to be the person that helps you. You'll end up getting transferred and you're going to get that person on the phone and they're going to take your file. They're going to open it up. They're going to try and verify your identity with you. They're going to ask you questions, right? They're going to ask you, what's your address? And so the whole thing is, the key word is current, right? They didn't say what's your current address. They said, verify your address. So the address that potentially corresponds with this alleged debt is what they're trying to verify so that they know who they're talking to. They're not allowed to ask you for your SIN number or your social insurance number or whatnot. And if you end up speaking with somebody that ends up giving you your information before or starts talking about the debt before they verify your information with them, then that's a breach of privacy. Oh, you can totally ding them on that. That collection agency can get into a lot of trouble for that. So yeah, that's privacy information they're not supposed to release. So an inexperienced agent might let that happen, or depending on how you're talking to the person, they might let that information go. And that's something else that you could tackle them for. Also, I always say have a potential outcome in mind, right? Know what you're going to say, know what you want out of the call. If it's just to find information like how much do you owe, because you might walk in there and have on a piece of paper when this alleged debt was acquired, the date of this alleged debt, how much you supposedly owe these people. You know what I mean? So once you have those things in mind, right, and you're going in and you're talking to these people to find out what you owe them and this and that. You're trying to see how much information on you that they have. But you're going to do more listening than talking. That's the most important thing. Only answer the questions that's asked. And even still, don't answer every single question that's asked because it might be too much. So for example, I called the collection agency and same guy I was telling you about. And I told him, well, I'm not working, so I can't pay the debt. And I don't have any money. I don't have any income coming in. And he's like, well, how can you afford to pay the debt if you have no income coming in? I said, that's not your concern. Do you want the debt paid or not? Well, are you going to take a settlement offer? And he said, well, what are you offering? And I said, $300, something like that. Like I pulled it out of my hat, right? I knew the debt was maybe 5 times. They want 4 or 5 times more than that amount. However, what I knew that they didn't know that I knew was, and so the call was just kind of like for blanks and giggles, right? The thing is, the debt was, I think at the time it was going to be, so let's see, it was going to be in 20, so let's just say it was going to be 6 years old at that time. Like, so in the summertime, it was going to be the summertime of that year, it would have been 6 years old. So I didn't even have to contact this collection agency because I think I wanted to do something with my credit at the time. Like I wanted to try and get a credit card or something like that, right? And I wanted to make sure that my credit was in the best possible position it could be. And I knew that if I could get this collection off, then hey, maybe I can get a credit card before summer. Or I wait for it to drop off. So the strategic idea I had in mind was calling to see whether I can get them to remove it based on a pay for delete. If I say, look, I'll pay X amount of dollars, we agree in principle to a settlement, and then you remove it from the collection agency. You can remove it from the bureau. Well, the guy was not too pleasant. So I'm going to tell you more about that in a second. The other thing is, do not get baited. I said it before, do not get angry. Always stay calm. These guys, they're professionals, not at collecting the debt, but setting you off. They can set you off and love to say, oh, you're being argumentative, you're being this, you're being that. Be a woman, be a man, pay your bills, govern yourself accordingly. Take care of your responsibilities. They'll say these things. They'll say these phrases to you. And, how do you plan to handle this? How do you plan to sort this out? How do you plan to keep up to your end of the bargain, your responsibilities? And they'll say certain things like triggers, right? To try and get you angry and get you upset. Not every collection agency, not every person is nice working there, But I do believe in that old adage, you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. I really do believe that. Sometimes you get nice people and they'll work with you. But remember, they're not your friend. So the trick is, don't admit to guilt. Don't admit to owing anything. Don't be guilted into anything. So you have to go in there with the mindset that the debt is not yours. And it's on your bureau. And you're just trying to remove it by any means necessary. This is what you're trying to do. So this is why you're calling them. What do you say? You're like, well, look, I was looking at my credit bureau the other day and I noticed that there was this alleged debt. I noticed this thing in the collection section of my credit bureau report. I'd never seen it before. How did it get there? What's this all about? I'm calling to find out what this is all about because I do not believe it is me. I have no recollection of such debt being in my name. Then as I said, they're going to try and verify stuff with you. And if you say, well, look, you know what, I'm not working right now. I can't afford to pay, so I'm going to give you, but I do have a little bit of money that I got from my dead grandma. I'm willing to give up this $500 or $300, you lowball, as low as you can go to settle this debt. And it's good if you do it towards the end of the month, because you'll be dealing with an agent who wants to at least put some money up on his file and close some accounts, and they might be willing to flex with you a little bit towards the end of the month. Then, if the guy's like, oh well, we need to see, and this is what one guy said to me. He said, we need to see 3 months worth of bank statements. And I said, you'll see no such thing. I'm not showing you any of my bank statements. Do not do that, please. Ladies and gentlemen, do not release any of your private information, especially bank statements. And if you are ever going to pay a debt, do it in a money order or do it by debit. Do not just go and give these people your banking information so they can do a withdrawal. Do not do that. You don't want their sticky fingers to get involved into your accounts. Never that. And they're going to ask you questions like, oh, are you working right now? That's none of their business. Their job is to get paid. Their job is to collect on the debt. They don't need to know about your financial situation. They don't need to know about your banking situation. They don't need to know any of that. Now, they may ask you for your phone number. If you have another phone number, a dummy phone number, or somebody else's phone number, you can give them somebody else's phone number. They may also ask you for your address and your email. So that's something to keep in mind. Give them the old address that you have, right? Give them the old address. Remember we talked about addresses earlier? This is where it gets tricky. So if you guys have any other questions, or if you have any concerns, or if you'd like to give me some feedback about this, please just let me know. Like, share, and subscribe.